Okay, thank you. So again, I said that we're going to be running a 10 days front-end bootcamp, and it's going to follow this order. The day one, which is today, we're going to talk about how the web works, and then we're going to set up our coding environment. We're going to now talk about the structure of HTML. And the two will talk about advanced HTML and forms. Then the three will talk about CSS and styling. On day four, we'll still push on with CSS as we talk about the box model. Day five, we'll talk about layout in CSS. Then on day six, we'll talk about interactivity using JavaScript. So we'll discuss a lot of things about JavaScript. On day 8, we will now do the DOM manipulation, talk about the document object model of JavaScript. And then we talk about events and interactivity on day 9, so that when you click on button, the color or anything will change. So things can be changed dynamically on mouse click, on mouse over, on keyboard input. Then we will do a final project. Then if I see that you people are serious and you're following and doing the assignment that we'll talk about, then we cannot talk about and move into some front-end frameworks. So these areas are very important. Introduction, we'll introduce you also to responsive web design as time will permit us. Please, like I said, if you have a question, do draw my attention. So first of all, we'll talk about how the web works. How the web works. The websites, or what we call internet today, is a kind of a connection of different computers, a connection of different computers that are being served by one or many servers. And so the computer that is connected to the you have a lot of them. Let me see if I can get a picture of the web to use to demonstrate what I'm saying. So from here, you can see a picture of the web. Let me see if I'll find a better one. Okay, so let's manage this one. From here, you see a picture of the web. And this picture of the web is from FreePix. And let me open it very well. Okay, you can see this is the internet. This is what happens. This is your phone, or this is your computer system. When you request for something on this phone, it will go to what we call a server to get the information that you are looking for from the server. And if it gets that information, it will send it back to you. So the phone or the node or the user is regarded, or the users are regarded as the client. the client. Where the information is coming from, where the information is stored, is called the server. Okay, so I hope people got that illustration. Did you people get the illustration? Did you see my screen when I was explaining it? Did you get the illustration?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so um, so what happens? The client receives information. I'm just explaining these two things that are here. The client sends a request. When we go down, if we have opportunity to move into processing of forms, the client sends request to the server. The server looks at what the client is looking for and then sends it back to the client. So in this case, we are using the server or the Microsoft server. That is what we are using. And so all of us are sending information, requests, we want to join to the server. The server will now add us. And then as I'm talking to you, it is going to the server and then coming to you. And which means it's distributing to all of us at the same time. And so that is basically how the internet works. I didn't write it here. So what do we do basically in web development? We create websites from the very basic ones that are static to the ones that are you can call applications that are sophisticated. All of them are just connection of different pages. A connection of different pages, web pages together, and that are linked together with hyperlinks and other form of linking. And so if you do that, you will be able to have what we call a website. So you can either host it using shared hosting or using a virtual private server or using cloud hosting. So as much as time permits us, we'll talk about some of those things. So let us go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and set up our environment. So to set up your environment for web development, there's one thing. There are two basic things I want us to do. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing too much of writing, too much of talking. I want us to practicalize whatever we are doing. And if we can practicalize whatever we are doing, I am very okay. So you have what we call editors. You have what we call editors. By now, most of you, all of you here are in 200 level. And so you should know what an editor means. But simply put, editor is what you can use to write code. Editor is what you can use to write code. And so there's one editor I love so much. We have a lot of them. We have Atom. We have Notepad++. We have variety of them. We have VS Code. So we also have Notepad. So, but in this one, we are going to just use and focus on VS Code because VS Code is powerful and it has a lot of capacity. So whether you are using Mac OS, you are using Windows, you are using Linux, VS Code will work for all of us. So let's stick with VS Code. How do you install VS Code in your system? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. How do you install VS Code in your system? You go to the internet. We're going back to the internet. You type VS Code or Visual Visual Studio Code. When you put Visual Studio Code, you press enter. Sometimes, just like you're seeing from my screen, it will give you suggestions. It will give you suggestions of the ones that are relating to your system. None of them here is related to my system because I'm using Windows 11. So I will just go to type Visual Studio Code and press enter. Now, Visual Studio Code redefines AI power, and it will talk about a lot of things that you can do with it. You will see download, you will see Windows, depending on the operating system you are using. Say, install VS Code on Mac, VS Code for the web. You want to use it on web without installing it, and many other things. Is an IDE created by Microsoft Word. So we can use that to run whatever we are running. So VS Code is a source code editor developed by Microsoft for Windows, Linux, and Mac, and web browsers. Features include support for debugging, syntax, highlighting, intelligent code compilation, snippets, code refactoring, and embedded version control with Git. Then it was developed by Microsoft, and initial release date was 29th April 2015. It's available in 11 languages. So you find out if you speak many languages, you find out whether the language, so programming languages that were used JavaScript, C#, CSS, and TypeScript. So you have uh, things that people sometimes use together with them. And depending on the amount of time we have, you see all this. So please, I want to say again, if you have a question, draw my attention. If you have a question, draw my attention, please, so that we can enjoy the lecture together. So after that, you click on download. Whatever operating system you're using is still the same process. You click on download. When you click on download, it will take you to the place where you can download your VS Code. So I am using Windows. I can see it's showing Windows 10 and 11. So I can just click here and download it. Then if you are using Linux, either Debian or Ubuntu, you click on this side. If you are using Red Hat, Fedora, and source, you click here. If you are using Mac, you also click here and download. So I'm using Windows, even though I've installed it in my system already, but I'll click on it. So when you click on it, it will tell you, thank you for downloading VS Code. You see, it's already downloading. It's downloading here. I already have VS Code, but I'm just downloading. I'm just passing through all the processes so that you can pick it from there. So okay, so the next thing, if it finishes, it will tell us that it has finished, still in progress. So we'll just wait a little. So when you finish downloading, it has downloaded, you can open it in folder. It will open in folder. When it opens in folder, you see it here, and it will show the VS Code. I like installing as administrator. It doesn't mean that that is the only way. So I click run as administrator. So I right click and I click run as administrator. This for Windows, for Mac, you may not need to follow that process. So you click yes. Okay. Say the installer is not meant to run as an administrator. If you would like to install VS Code for all users in this system, download the system installer instead from. So let's continue. So you accept, just like the way you install every other software. You can take your time to go through all the laws, the license agreements, and so if you don't agree to this agreement, you cannot move forward. So we just accept it and click next. Then the next thing that you will see is this screen. I hope you can see this screen. Please, if you can see the screen where I am, where it says select additional tasks. If you can see it, just let me know. Hello, everyone. If you can see my screen, okay, you can see it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so after that, make sure that you select add to part, or sometimes, let me just tell you for a secret, if you don't know the things to select, why, especially if you are using a software for the first time, leave it at the default. Leave it at the default. The default means the way the owners of the software programmed it. Just leave it like that so that you install it. In the process of using, if there's a need to come back to add more features, you also find a way to add those features instead of getting stuck or adding things that you will not need. So you can also say create a desktop icon, and then you click next. Then the next thing is it will tell you to install on your system. So you click install, and the installation process will begin for all users. So when the installation process finishes, it will tell you it has finished. So, but I'm going to cut it here because VS Code is already in my system. VS Code is already in my system, so I'm going to cut it here. If you have a question at this point, please go ahead and ask. I'll just give some few minutes. If there's no question, I'll move to the next thing that we'll have. So I'm just canceling the installation because that is the final part of the installation. So why I did that is because I already have VS Code in my system. So I'm going to bring it up. I already have VS Code in my system. So I'm going to write VS Code. And click open. While we're waiting for that, let me check whether there are people that raised their hand. Okay, none. So we'll wait for VS Code to load. This is JavaScript error. Okay, it seems as if that's our installation had some things that it has done to the one we already have. Let's try it one more time. VS Code. So my VS Code has issues already. So let's go through the installation process again. Add, create a desktop icon, install. Okay. I yeah. Okay, so let's take it that we're using this process to repair the one in my system because we didn't complete that other installation. It's like it affected some files. So let's install a fresh one. It's extracting file at this moment. After extracting the files, it will start the installation proper. So if you don't have VS Code in your system, this could also be an opportunity for you to start your own installation process so that it will not just be that you're waiting to do it next time. But like I said, we'll post this video on YouTube. You can also take your time to look at it and watch it. So the extraction has finished. The next thing is for us to okay. So setup has finished. We now click finish. And as we click finish, it will launch VS Code by itself. So whatever that seemed to be wrong with the original VS Code has been corrected. Okay, so our VS Code is loading. So this is the VS Code environment. If this is the first time you are doing installation, if this is the first time you're doing installation, it will give you an opportunity to choose whether you want to use the white, um, um, whether you want to use a white theme, or you want to bring in a different one. Whether you want to use a white theme or you want to bring in a different one. Then for some of you, you will see this place. You see a lot of other stuff. Then you see your terminal and all that. So, but for now, we're going to go for a clean sheet. So I'm going to close all these ones. Okay, we can leave the welcome. I'm going to close all these things. So, but for us to do that, let's open a fresh one. Coming fresh one. I clicked here. For your own, you may not see this hamburger icon. You may see all these options on top of the bar here. So I will just go to File and say New Window. So if I have a fresh window with nothing on it, this is how it is going to show. If you have not done anything on VS Code before, this is how it is going to show. If you have done some jobs, it will show under the recent. So this is where we are going to be doing some of or all of our jobs. So the next thing I normally do is, and which is a very good practice, is to create a folder where you will store all your designs or whatever you're doing. Create a folder where you store them. And I don't like creating that folder on desktop. So what do? I go to I'm going to close this VS Code now. So, or I can leave it, but I'll go to my documents and create a folder. Let's call that folder let's call that folder let's call that folder I'll create a new folder. Let's call that folder series 200. So if I have a folder series 200, I'll come to VS Code and open folder. I'll look for my documents and look for series 200 and open it. Now we have our folder here with us. This is one way of bringing in your folder. What did I do? I clicked on open folder and I brought in the folder. I'm going to try another way of bringing in a folder to, I'm going to try two other different ways of bringing in a folder to VS Code. Now I have a new, remember the first one I clicked here, I'm going to open a new window. Wait for the new window to load. Then I'll come here. It said no folder found. This is the first time I'm opening this place. It said no folder found. I can click here and add a folder, or I'll come here, I'll go to file, I'll go to open folder, I'll click on it, and then locate where my folder is, series 200, and open it. So we have done two ways where are two methods with which you can open a folder. Now I'm going to the final one. I'm going to close all VS Code. And this final one is the one we are going to be using most of the time, both to open folder and to open open folder, open our files. So what do I do if I have this folder already created? Please, as far as before we continue, as far as you are on the web, don't create a folder like this. For instance, how do I give an example? Okay, don't create a folder like this, please. Don't create a folder like this. If you create a folder like this, it's going to work. But later, maybe somebody, when we start processing what we are doing, somebody should ask me why I said this. Don't create a folder like this. Make sure that there is no space. Instead of creating a folder like this, put an underscore. Put an underscore. So make sure that there is no space character. Sometimes when you open some web pages, you will see something like this attached to the web link. you see an ampersand, a percentage sign attached to the web link. That is the web browser way of filling in a blank space. So if you don't want this kind of thing to be seen on your web link, don't put this, don't allow space. So that's why you may ask, why did I close it together? That's the primary reason I did it that way. So we are still talking about how to open our editor. So the next thing I'm going to do is to double click. We open it programmatically now. So as I double click, you see document, you see window, CWIS 200, which is the name of the folder. The next thing I'm going to do is to click on it. It will show blue line, blue background, or blue highlighting. So I will say CMD. If I say CMD, for those, if I say CMD, I'll now press enter. So when I press enter, it will open the command prompt. And then it will show me the link, command prompt, user, the name, name of the system, and the folder, and And is there any question at this level? You have a question you want to ask? Please go ahead and ask. Okay, so if there's no question, let's continue. So if you are in the command prompt like this, the next thing you're going to type is to type any question.
I'll be in school from now till December before I leave the school.
Please, we want to encourage you not to make noise. If you want to, George, if you want to talk, please mute your mic, so that you will not spoil what we are doing. Just mute your mic. Thank you very much. So we'll go back to where we were. Then the next thing you are supposed to do is to type code. So if you type code and press enter, it will code dots. I hope we saw what I did. Hello, I hope we saw what I did.
Yes, sir. We saw what you did.
Okay. Code dot, let me do it again. See what I wrote here, code space dot, and I press enter. Sorry.
Please, I didn't see what you did. The line was breaking.
You didn't?
I didn't see what you did. The line was breaking.
Okay. Can you see it now?
No, sir.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote once that place. Okay, let's go back. Let me go back. I'm going to close this. But you saw to this point, right? You saw to this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you click on here, I say you type CMD and you press enter. Once you press enter, it will open your command prompt. So if it opens your command prompt, you type code, 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 space, dot. So once you do, you press enter. So you are trying to say, open this folder in VS Code. Open this folder in VS Code. So you see that we have succeeded in 3 different ways where you can bring in your folder to VS Code. Any questions so far? Okay. If there's no question, another thing you can do, if you have a folder here, you see it comes with 4 different icons. The first one is new folder, the second new file, the second one is new folder, the third one is refresh explorer. So this place is explorer. The fourth one is to close to collapse the explorer. So if I do this, the explorer should collapse. If I do this, the explorer will go away. Then let me explain other things here. This is the explorer. This is for search. This is for source control. As time goes on, if we have the time, we'll talk about that. This is for running and debugging. This is for extension. If you want to add extension, you remember when we did our C++ class, also we used this place a lot. So, and even when we did our Python class, we used this place a lot. So I'll just go back and click here to see what is here. So some of these icons you are seeing here are also here. If you are starting on the welcome tab, so you see new file, open file, open file. Sorry, let me check. Okay, I just wanted to confirm whether our recording is still on. So let me go back. So you see new file. So if you are on the welcome page, you can just click new. It will tell you what kind of file you want to create and you do. So instead of going through all this route, just come here and click new file. Instead of going there, click new file. Because of what we are doing, you create a file, and from time immemorial, it is advisable that the first page you create in web development or at the beginning level, it should be called index. So we say index, you type the word index, then you either say .html or .htm. But for now, let's use .html. HTML. Then you press enter. But before I press enter, let me show you the folder here. You can see that the folder, even when I've not pressed enter, it's already showing here. Index that I created. The folder was initially empty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to go back and delete that file. Because I left it, it's saved by itself. So what I'm going to do is to delete the file, and then we'll check the folder again, just for us to confirm that there's nothing in the folder. Now we'll go back to the folder. You see that the folder is empty. There's nothing in the folder. Then if we go back to VS Code and we create that file, we'll say index.html and press enter. Our file is already created, so you see it here, index.html. Then you will also, if you go to the folder, you will see it. And this time around, you're seeing it in the form of okay, I wanted to increase. You're seeing it. It will take a browser shape, or you take a browser form, and it will be your default browser. It will be your default browser. Like in this system, the default browser is Chrome. So it will take the icon, its icon will be the icon of a browser. And if you look at it, you see Chrome HTML document. 0 bytes because there's nothing on it. 0 bytes, and the index is the name. So if you now want to view this, because this is what we will now be doing from time to time. So when you are done in at this level, when you are done in VS Code, you can come here and right click and open, or you just double click. So it will open in your browser. Are you seeing it? So it will show you index.html. Okay, it will show you the part of the file because we have not yet started working with a server. So it will show you the part of the file. So assuming that thing I was explaining, assuming we didn't put, assuming there was a space here, what you would have been seeing, assuming there was a space, what you would have been seeing here would have been something like this. And I'm sure you have seen links like this before. It's because there was a space in it. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Please, if you have a question, ask me. So we have talked a little about the internet. We have talked a little about server clients, the client-server relationship that we have on the internet. We have succeeded in setting up our VS Code. So you can see that we have almost exhausted everything that we intend to do today. The remaining thing is the basic HTML structure. Basic HTML structure. Basic HTML structure. So in basic HTML structure, we are looking at what are the things that should be in a typical HTML page. In a typical HTML page. And why are we talking about HTML? A brief history about HTML is that HTML is it's not history per se, just a description of HTML. It's the only language that the browser understands. And what do we use more? What is the major means of the clients communicating with the server? Is through the browsers. And so we must use a language that the browsers can understand, that the browsers can render to talk to the browsers. And then as we go ahead, we will now use other languages that understand these ones and can mix it together where we talk about interactivity and be able to interact with both the browser, the user, and the server and make our pages dynamic. So how do you place this thing? What is the foundation of the HTML page? What are the things that ought to be there? The first thing is that you declare the document type, and you do that by pressing less than, exclamation mark, and you type document type, but it is abbreviated as doc type. Doc type. So when you do that, you put HTML. Any question? Okay, so we can continue, right? So when we look at this level, when we look at your HTML page, what is the first thing we are supposed to see? Doc type. You are telling the browser that this document, the type of this document is what? HTML. Then what is the next thing you are supposed to see in that place? The next thing you are supposed to see is you press enter. The next thing you are supposed to see is HTML, and you close it up. So in HTML, there's what we call open and close tag. This is the open tag. This side is the open tag. This is the close tag. This is the close tag. So one of the ways you differentiate the open tag from the close tag is that the close tag always have a backward slash. Some people call it close tag. Okay, let me press enter. Some people call it close tag, or I'm sorry, they call it start tag or open tag. Then the same thing happens here too. Call it close tag or end tag. So what is the major difference between them? Just this. So we are going to see a lot of open and close tag. So every other thing we are going to do, it will be inside of this place, inside of HTML and HTML. That's why I opened it up. Every other thing we're going to do will be inside here. And inside this place is divided into two parts. The first part is the head. The second part is the body. Everything we are going to do will be either inside here or inside here. Everything that we're going to do will be either inside the head or inside the body. So this is the basic structure of the HTML page, the foundation of every HTML page. So the next thing we're going to do is to talk about some essential tags that we can work with. One of them is the title tag. One of them is the title tag. So we talk about title. I like indenting my distance, even if my editor is not doing it for me. Title tag. So the title tag also have. Now look at what we have. Look at what we have. The index page. Look at what we have. It's showing index.html. But by the time I put a title, something is going to change here. And I refresh it. Something is going to change here. Remember, how did we get it to this place? We came to the folder and we right-clicked and we said open. So we go back to VS Code. So if I put the title and I say series 200 day 1, and I save it, you can also set your distance to your VS Code to save automatically. Okay, my own is on auto save, so you can set it to be auto save, or when you finish, you save. So since it's on auto save, I can go back to here and watch the difference. If I refresh, you see that this place, while the name of the file is still there, this place has changed to the title. So this tells you When you see something on your tab, when you see something that is on the tab, you should know that it should tell you that that is the title that is given to that page. So you see series 200, day 1. If I change it, everything there will also change. Let me put day 1 together. And I do something like this. I save, I go back, I refresh. You see it, series 200, day 1. Some of you might not be seeing. Let me increase. It's not even increasing. Okay, so but that is it. So that is one of the things you can see in the basic HTML page. As time goes on, there are many other things you can add here, and there are also things you add here. But for want of time, let's add something also to the body part as we are describing the basic level. Next time, we're going to be running. So we have headers or headings, and they range from H1 to H6. H1 is the biggest. This is a heading. So let me also put H6. This is also a heading. So if you do that and you go back to test, you see that it will show. This is H. You can see that whatever you put in the header will affect either here, or will also help in your search engine optimization, because that is where you have the meta tags. That is where you have a lot of other stuff that will help your site to load very well. The content, that's where you will link your CSS and your JavaScript. Then this is the smaller one. So this is the big one. So H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. Any questions so far? If you have a question, please ask me. Any question? Hello, do we still have people here? Any question?
No, sir. No, sir.
So I understand. I see that we are getting it. So if we are getting it, when is our class supposed to end?
3:30, sir.
Okay, so we still have time. Okay, so we can talk about other tags. We can talk about other tags. So I've talked about heading. There's also a tag called, for those of you that have passed this level, please bear with us so that I'll carry everybody along. There's also another tag we call the paragraph P tag. Okay, so we are just going to find text to fill up this place. So for me to find text, I will look for text they call lorem. So if you are just looking for any hard text that you're going to use for something, you can get them from. So maybe you're looking for something to type, you can get them from here. So I'll just copy one and come and paste here. So the other ways for now, you can also generate the lorem here by yourself. Or this is one way to get. I can decide to say, okay, I'm breaking these two into a different paragraph. So I will end the first paragraph here and start another one. So we'll have two paragraphs when we view our document. Okay, so I'll refresh. Let's reduce the size of this browser. So you see what a paragraph does. Paragraph. That we'll talk about. We also have other types. You can see that for you to see something display on the web page, much of what you see displayed on the web page is done inside the body. Is done inside the body. So other kinds of special tags that you will have is other kinds of essential tags that we have is links. Links. And the links starts with the hyperlink tag. So whatever I put here, I do want to do something like login, then so you have the hyperlink there. Another one that you can also have is image, the image tag. The image tag is one of a kind. Is one of a kind. So if we are going to be using the image tag, why did I say all this? Why we have been working on tags that have close tag, except this one. All the other ones have their close tag, but the image tag doesn't have a close tag. It has some things in it. What it has is it will tell you source. Another thing you will be looking for is alternative source. And then whatever thing you want to add, size, width, we'll talk about those ones later. So you close it up. So this is how the image tag works. So what we're going to do now is show you how to add an image. And then we put a description of the image, just in case this alternate works if the image is not there. Okay, this will show sorry, let's just use it to pass a message. Sorry, we cannot load the image for now. So we have done all this, and so let's go back and test our image. So you are seeing it now. It's showing you a broken image and say, sorry, we cannot load the image for now. So all these are ways to add images. So, but for us to solve this problem means there is no image there. So what do? We go back here too. And I like everything to be well arranged when I'm doing web program or any other kind of, whether you are developing a software, make sure things are arranged properly. So we are going to create a folder and call it image or images or img or images. Let's use images. So once we create this folder here, it will show in VS Code. Are you seeing it here now? I can also decide to create a folder from here and call it img. If I go to this place, I will also see img. So you decide the one. I like making things very short and also straight to the point. So I'm going to delete this one. So you can see that only img will be here. So the next thing is, let's get a picture that we're going to work with from the internet. There was a time we tried to download some pictures. Let's get a picture that we're going to work with. So let's say photo logo. Let's search for photo logo. So we want to work with photo logo. Let's go with this one. Open. This is photo logo. So I'm going to download it, save as photo logo. So if I've saved the photo logo, I'll open my folder where it is stored. I'll copy it. I'll copy it. Then I'll go to my folder where I have placed it, where I've created the folder, and then I'll paste it there. So photo logo, and it's a JPEG file. So I'll come here to VS Code. If you open here in VS Code, you'll see it, photo. Oh, okay. I'll also show us some things. Let's go ahead. So I can come here and then add the source now. I'll now say photo logo dot JPEG. You have to put the extension for it to work. So let's go and check our so let's check what we have as we refresh it. So you can see it's still saying, sorry, we cannot load the image for now. So let's go back. What's the problem? Okay. The problem, if you are following me, who can tell us what he thinks the problem is? Huh? Let's use it to think and to end the class. Who can tell us what the problem is? For those of you that have done something relating to web before now. Hello? Are we still together? Are we still together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So who can tell us the solution to our problem?
So can you please go back to the other screen?
Okay. We want to display a picture. I will have put the name of the picture. Let me also open here. We have put the name of the picture, and then we try to do it here to make the picture show. It's not showing. What could be the problem? Let's think together.
So I think the problem
Sir,
there is the
Let's,
name.
let's
You
take
didn't-
it one after the other.
Okay.
Okay, the first person that is talking, go ahead.
okay,
Sir,
the name, I think. Oh, sorry. I thought you.
Chukun also, you raised your hand. Are you
Yes,
the
sir. The
person
problem is
talking?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So the problem is the name. The name
Okay.
didn't. The two of them have different names. In one there's logo and the other one there's log.
Okay. Okay, so the other person, what's the problem?
That it was the same thing. I wanted to say same thing. In the folder, it was saved as a photo.log, and in your source, in the source, you imputed photo.logo.jpg.
So that's one problem. Sometimes you may think that what you know, when I was saving it, I was saying photo logo, Abi. But
Yes.
at the point after saving it, I and looked at it, I saw that it was photo.log. So we can go back and correct it. I think if you spell something wrongly, because later this kind of error may happen again. So if you spell something wrongly, it's better to correct it than to leave it like that. And then the mistake will keep repeating itself. So what I want to do now is to go back to correct it. Rename. So I will just add O there. So it's now logo. Is it that's what people are saying, Abi? Hello? So it's correct now,
Yes, sir.
Abi?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But it will still not work. So let's check. Be thinking, what's the problem? This is one of the primary problems people have when they are working with picture for the first time in web design. It's not still working. What do you think is the problem? Let me go back to the code. Susan,
Okay,
are you
sir.
here?
Sir, we didn't use.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, we didn't use the I.
Okay. I think his network is breaking, so any other person can help out. He's trying to get the answer.
Okay, sir. Sir, we didn't use the img slash. We're supposed to use the img slash before the photolog.jpg.
Okay, meaning that we didn't. We are the if we okay. Let me try something now. See, we are trying to tell this computer that this image is in this place. Now that I put it here now, if I go and refresh, you will see that it will work. Are you seeing it? But this is a wrong arrangement. This is not what we want. So there's no point copying it and pasting it here as I did. What we want is that all images should be in the image folder. Is that right? So we can, sometimes if you type correctly, your editor will just give you the link. So the first thing we are supposed to do here, just like, what's that his name? Is it Shukun also? You type, once you put images, it will show you the symbol of the folder and other things. So img slash, then it will show you if there are 20 pictures in that img, it will show you all the pictures. You now select the one you want. Now it is selecting just only the picture that is there. You put it. So with this, you solve that problem of trying to locate the part and it's not working. Okay. So from we have exhausted what we have on day one. You people want us to close here? Or we should eat into day 2?
So let's eat it to day 2.
Huh? Okay. So okay, so let's just talk about list, and then maybe we'll end the class there. List is part of day 2. So if we are eating into each of the day, we will achieve more. So I like that spirit that said that we should eat into day 2 since we have more time. Okay, so another thing that we can do, don't forget that this whole thing seems scattered. That is how it will look like. You may say, but the website I'm seeing, they are not like this now. Don't worry, we will get there. So let's take it one after the other. Another thing that you will see, or another useful tag that you will come across while designing websites or designing web pages, is the list tag. The list tag. This thing I'm doing is what we call comments. I may not have time to talk about it. It's what we call comments. Every programming language have their own comment. This is how you write comments in HTML, meaning that you can use it to just serve as a reminder of what you are doing in that place, not necessarily that it's going to be displayed or processed. So when we talk about lists, we have majorly 2 types of lists that can come in different forms. We have the ordered list, ordered list, and unordered list. We have these 2 types of lists. How do you implement them? One is, let's go with the ordered list. I don't know how else to explain it, but when we do the list and I show you, you will know what a list, we know what we are talking about. On the ordered list starts with OL. And it closes with OL. Inside it, you are expected to have lists. Let's assume if it is ordered list. So what do we do now? You use ordered list when you're talking about hierarchy. Ordered list can come in form of ABC. Ordered list can come in form of Roman numerals. So, but this one we're going to do now is just the default one, which is numbers. So, okay, let me do it in such a way that let's just use fruit. Let's say I am arranging fruits in the order that I like them, even though mango is not my best fruit. But let me just write, for example, for the sake of example. So we have another one. We have cashew. Then we can have another one. We have, let's assume beans is a fruit. Which fruit do we have in photo there? Orange. Okay. So this is ordered list. If we go and check our stuff, you see how ordered list work. It will just number it and show you. So let's carry the same thing to unordered list. So if we just copy everything that is here, because they are the same pattern, and we change to unordered list, and we go back to test it, you see this is unordered list, this is ordered list. So ordered list may come in form of numbers, it may come in form of alphabet, whether small letter or big letter. It may come in form of Roman numerals. Then on other lists may come in form of these bullets, may come in form of different kinds of bullets. Okay, thank you very much. So any question? If there's no question, I will give you an assignment. In fact, I'm going to put the assignment in the announcement in Google Team, but I'm going to talk about it here before putting it there. Remember, I said assignment is not compulsory, so don't do it because you're going to get mark. There's no mark. But if the reason why you paid, even though the money is small, the reason why you paid to join is so that, or you are even spending this time or spending this data, is so that you will learn something that you have not known before, or refresh your memory. Please take the assignment seriously. So if there is no question, we call it a day. So is there a question? If you have a question, please ask. If you have a question, please ask me.
So can we get the recording after this session?
Yes, you get the recording. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the lecture here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.